All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. That incredibly frustrating feeling when you're in a conversation and you just feel completely disrespected. Today, we're going to break down a really powerful and kind of counterintuitive way to completely flip that script. It's not about yelling louder or having the perfect comeback. It's about knowing exactly when and how to just walk away. You know the feeling, right? I mean, you're pouring your heart out, trying to explain your side, just trying to feel heard, and nothing. It's like your words are just bouncing right off them. It is absolutely exhausting, and honestly, it feels totally pointless. And this right here is the core of the problem. See, you're going into that conversation hoping for connection, for some kind of understanding. Your goal is to be heard. But their goal is totally different. They're there to win. They just want to be right. When you've got goals that are that far apart, you're basically set up to lose. That is, if you play their game. And that is what pulls you right into something I call the disrespect trap. It's this nasty, vicious cycle that so many of us get stuck in, and we don't even see it happening. So this trap, it works on a really simple but kind of brutal loop. You feel disrespected, so naturally you start arguing to defend yourself, right? You're just looking for some validation. But here's the thing. Because they aren't trying to hear you, all your arguing does is throw fuel on the fire. It leaves you feeling even more drained, more invalidated than you were before you even started. So, how do you get out? How do you break the cycle? Well, this is where the real power move comes in. And it's not about finding some magical, witty comeback. Nope. It's about using the most powerful and most underestimated tool in your arsenal, your silence. And let's be crystal clear on this. Walking away is not giving up. It's not weakness. It is a very deliberate, very strategic decision to stop pouring your energy into a dynamic that's hurting you. So this isn't a retreat. It's you repositioning yourself. You are taking back control of the situation. Okay, so let's dig into the why behind all this. Why is this so effective? Because it's not magic, you know? There's some really fascinating and surprisingly simple psychology that explains exactly why this works so well. It's all about how humans are wired. So the first big idea is something called behavioral extinction. Now, that sounds super technical, right? But the concept is actually dead simple. Think about it. In these arguments, what's the reward the other person is getting? It's your reaction. It's your attention, your engagement, your energy. That's the prize they're after. Every time you argue back, you're actually rewarding them for being disrespectful. And this is the fundamental shift you're about to make. Look at the old cycle. They're disrespectful, you argue, and boom, they get the reward of your attention. Their behavior is reinforced. But in the new cycle, they're disrespectful, and they're met with nothing. Avoid. You withdraw. The reward is gone. And guess what? Any behavior that stops getting rewarded eventually just fades away. But, and this is so important, you have to be consistent. You can't do it just some of the time. If you sometimes argue and sometimes walk away, you're creating what psychologists call intermittent reinforcement. It's basically like a slot machine. The fact that the reward might come at any time makes the behavior even more addictive and harder to stop. To really, truly break this cycle, you have to remove that reward every single time. Okay, so enough with the theory. How do you actually do this in the heat of the moment? Let's get tactical. We're going to call this the detachment response, and this is your step-by-step action plan. Here it is, your 3-step playbook. It's simple, but you gotta stick to it. Step 1, state your boundary. Just once, calmly, clearly, no yelling. I'm not going to continue this conversation while I'm being disrespected. That's it. Step 2, disengage. Your actions have to back up your words. Leave the room, put the phone down, hang up, physically remove yourself. And step 3, and this is where the power is, you control when or even if that conversation starts again. It's on your terms now. Now, it's really important to get the mindset right here. This isn't about being petty. This isn't about revenge or trying to punish the other person. This is an act of deep self-respect. What you're doing is calmly but firmly teaching people how they are allowed to treat you. You're setting the price of admission for your time and your energy, and that price is respect, period. So, what happens when you start doing this consistently? Well, this is the part you've been waiting for. This is where things get really interesting, and the entire dynamic starts to shift in a pretty amazing way.
When you consistently take away the attention that they're trying to get through disrespect, one of two things generally happens. They either learn that disrespect is a losing game and they start coming to you on healthier, more respectful terms, or they just fade away. And here's the beautiful part. Either one of those outcomes is a massive win for you. You reclaim your power, you protect your peace, and you finally break free from that emotional exhaustion.
When you really boil it all down, it comes back to this one simple truth. These circular, toxic, disrespectful arguments, they're a game. And it's a game that you're designed to lose if you play by their rules. The only real way to win is to refuse to play at all. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with a question to really think about. Right now, in your life, there's a conversation, a dynamic that's just draining you. So my question is this: whose script will you refuse to follow this week? It's time to take back your attention, because when you take back your attention, you take back your power.